This is yours that you
Mallory's in
brought up.
Colorado that we alluded to as we were outset in our last episode. The black farmers were being harassed by his neighbors. Now we have updated information. There has been some body cam footage surfaced of one of the encounters of the neighbors that seem to have an agitated Miss Mallory, giving conflicting statements or having conflicting video evidence to statements she had previously gave. But I don't know
Mal-
exactly.
I,
Yeah,
I thought they had conflicting video evidence to a statement that Mrs. Mallory had given.
that's what I just said.
We're
I
good
thought you
30 in.
What I
was you
just said. She was
okay.
being harassed, and so they have now provided.
Okay.
They have now provided video evidence that would appear to be opposite, or not even say opposite, to be more damaging than the shit she initially purported them to be. She appeared to be agitated, and see that's the reason I didn't like that evidence is because she had all due reasons to be agitated. I don't remember exactly
You
what
got to.
happened.
I was gonna say you got to tell people something, motherfucker. You ain't told
I
people
say I
nothing.
don't know exactly what happened. I'm finna try to pull it up. I wasn't versed. I thought you was gonna get the particulars, but Miss Mallory has said some of the engagement with the police were spurred on by them, and from this videographic evidence, it would appear that she herself had agitated the situation. In one instance, something about something happened. I don't remember. Nigga, you don't know what happened?
So what I could surmise what had happened was there was a lot of issues with harassment claims being bountied back and forth. So when we initially heard the story about the Mallorys, we were told that there were 117 complaints, 100 and something complaints, calls to the sheriff's department about harassment. I initially took that as the Mallorys calling the police 117 times, but what has come out is that there were 117 calls by comprised of the Mallorys and their surrounding neighbors of complaints against the Mallorys for harassment and other things. Now, when you dig into the harassment claims, what I was able to see was there was certain things like their neighbors being upset that the Mallorys were pointing cameras at in the direction of their property because they have a property line dispute with their neighbors. And I think that this is probably what most of the issues are stemming from
Hmm.
is them encroaching on somebody else's land or somebody encroaching on their land. And you know how it is when you buy your new house and the surveyors come out and the motherfuckers that have been there forever that have taken claim to certain lands and certain parts of things
Find
get
out that they ain't this.
ooh, nah, my property actually go 15 feet that way.
Hmm.
This actually mine. It's not yours. I've been here for 37 years. My daddy didn't have it. Well, but it ain't never been actually yours.
Get
And I
real
think
finicky when his fence is involved.
and I think
Right.
hey look, just because you put a fence up in this motherfucker don't mean that's where your property begins or ends. It's just where you built the fence.
Mm.
And if my 1,000 acres encroaches upon that fence territory, and I know I got 1,000, and it goes up to right where your fence, and I got 964.
Yeah, I'm gonna need the rest about you.
I'm gonna need the rest of my 1,000 because it's on the other side of this fence, and I know that because I got this plotter survey. It tells me exactly where my fucking land is. Now we can dispute it, and I think that's probably what happened because that happens a lot when people move in places. Also, racism.
Yeah, can't forget about racism.
Can't forget about that. And you couple a motherfucker coming into some shit that you thought was yours with the fact that they also black, nigga. What?
Mm-hmm.
So whereas I had been under the auspices that it was an entire community against the Mallorys in just one direction, I am now aware that it's an entire community against the Mallorys and only in one direction. But they've also been put in paperwork on the other side. That's what I've come to the conclusion of.
Mm,
They're saying that Mrs. Mallory has harassed motherfuckers. They saying that she parked at a bus stop to stop people from getting their kids at school. Uh, hey, look, I don't know why she's at the school. To my knowledge, they don't have any kids. Am I wrong? Do they have kids?
No,
nah, it's
So I
just
don't know
them
what
two.
I don't know why she's parking at the bus stop, but it's
I
something
mean,
in me that wants to say that she has a good explanation for doing so.
I can
Are they
give.
putting the bus stop on their land?
No, this is what I want to just. It's completely conjecture. But after you be harassed by a whole town of motherfuckers for so long, you be wanting to be petty a little bit.
Yeah, you earned that.
You got a motherfucking 50 feet on this bitch, so I'm gonna go park someplace that I know she gotta be before she get there and act like I'm stretching my legs just so she can't come. I mean, it's understandable when you're feeling victimized with no outlet and no sympathy
Hmm.
apparently in sight. These people are relatives, they are uh best friends with the prosecutor. The prosecutor's married to the sheriff. So it would stand to reason that you feel a bit uh ganged up on, especially being the only blacks in this small rural town full of the others.
Hmm.
So, not saying it's right, but I can understand having that wanting that little bit of respite, or feeling like you taking back your own life.
You want to
Like
you
I'm
want to
finna
you want to get
inflict some.
I'm not just going to be a victim.
I'm not just gonna be a victim. I'm finna inflict some uncomfortability of my own. Not saying
Mm-hmm.
it's correct, not saying it's right, but shit,
It's understandable.
I can
And
understand.
you can get I can understand it. I get what you're saying when you have no recompense from law enforcement, none of the authorities in the town want to help you. You start thinking about ways you can help yourself in a in an antagonistic but non-violent way.
Right.
So I'll show up here. That's plausible. That makes sense. That tracks. Do you want to?
Now I'm reading over the thing and say the body camera.
Ah,
So Royal and Lieutenant Christopher Gonzalez said the office has responded to 170 calls for service involving Mallory's neighbors that 19 complaints against the deputies have been investigated and deemed unfounded. After review of the calls, the sheriff's office said it did reactivate two cases, including one that involved the Mallorys as victims, but details were not released. Body camera clips were played during the press conference to show a contrast between Nicole Mallory's claims and what was captured on video. In one video, a process server records his point of view shot. This is the part that I was forgetting that I wanted to make mention to. In one
he
video,
was creeping around the crib.
yeah, because it details of how she exaggerated her claims. But again, you're getting harassed by an entire town. You want to see something fruitful of it. So yeah, you might put a little stank on what you're saying happened. In one video, a process server records his point of view shot crossing the Mallory's gate to serve legal documents. The server knocks on several doors before Nicole Mallory can be heard screaming at the server before she fires a gun. Body camera footage by responding deputies showed Mallory claims she asked for the process server's ID and that she feared he was going to rape her while accusing him of looking through windows. That tracks. That's what he said he did. Now, if you
That's what he said he did, but that's not how he said he did it.
get it
Now,
right.
let me scenario.
Mhm.
Process server comes before he cuts on that body camera one
Hmm.
time. And he's just snooping around their place, looking in their windows, trying to get whatever and do whatever the fuck it is. But he's just looking around and being menacing. She sees it. They may not have a confrontation about it, but she's worried. She's panicked. She knows this man is on her property, peering into her windows, trying to do something. They don't
Who the
know what
fuck
the
is
fuck
this
is going
nigga?
on. I know I have issues with my neighbors. Is he a neighbor? Is he trying to find weaknesses in my home to find individual places where he can get in? He's left. Okay, I'm relieved. Oh shit, this motherfucker's back. But now when he comes back, he's gonna be civil. He's gonna do everything to the letter of the law that he's supposed to. He's gonna act as though he's going about it in a completely harmless kind of a way. I'm looking at the doors. I'm knocking. But now this same motherfucker that came back to your house that was here before, peeking around, poking around, and prodding
Hmm.
your shit, is now knocking on your door. All being amicable and cool at this point, but the other shit is also there. So now fuck that shit. I got my gun. I'm letting off a shot because I'm scared and I'm worried. I want you to know I am fully prepared to protect myself. Because
So,
just the motherfucker ringing your doorbell and you shooting off a gun in your own crib sounds retarded to me.
but listen to even in what how they describe this in this article. I want to go back to what I said before. In one video, a process server records his point of view shot crossing the Mallory's gate to serve legal documents. The server knocks on several doors before Nicole Mallory can be heard screaming at the server before she fired the gun. I've already said that part. Now, 2 paragraphs later, the video does not show the server looking through windows and does not show Mallory asking for an ID before she fired the gun. If he'd have knocked on several doors, it ain't no windows in between any of these doors. So what would a chest camera show exactly? Did she say he was fucking? No, shit. The nigga probably looked through a window and kept it moving.
Right.
Not probably.
I'm just saying probably because they in their own article they have what I would deem conflicting statements.
Let me
If
tell
he,
you.
if he knocks on several doors, how did he not manage to pass a single window?
It's not plausible.
The video does not show
it's not plausible, and let me tell you why I don't think it's plausible. When I was a young boy,
when I was a young boy,
When I was young.
a person who I later came to realize was actually a process server came to our door, our house, and that motherfucker came banging on the door. And you know how on Rockwell we had it was the 2 flats. We had the door that you go out, and then the door that you go into your own separate apartment in. So he hits the bell. I come out the apartment door, but I don't open the building door. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What's up? Motherfucker starts to get, aggressive. I'm a kid. I'm so young. We had just been taught at McKay. I don't know why I'm telling all my motherfucking history and where I've been at, but we had just been taught at that school what to look for on a policeman's badge. We had just got that information. Just got it. So he comes there, he's banging on the door, telling me to open the door up. No, I don't know you.
No,
not finna do that shit at all. But he has to serve, and I guess he thought that I was just the kid coming out from my parents being there or whatever. So he continues to bang. I go back in the house. I close my interior door. He hits on the window. He on the porch. You know the window that's on the porch to your apartment. He banging on that. I open the blinds. He said, I'm an officer of the law. You just let me in. Let me see your badge. This motherfucker smack a badge on the motherfucking glass. I started looking at it. It did not pass my it did not pass my ID test because I had just learned what the fuck it's supposed to be. I forget what's on one side, but it's an Indian on the other one. It's an Indian on one side of a police badge and some on the other. And it's some shit in the middle. But I knew all that shit then. And his badge wasn't matching up to what
didn't hold up to bad scrutiny.
didn't hold up to my scrutiny, so I was not letting the motherfucker in. And that motherfucker, he berated me at my door for a good 30 minutes.
Little piece of shit ass kid.
and this is it. This is in Chicago.
He was raised by fuck niggas.
This is in Chicago. This is in Chicago on a city block. Popular. You know how our blocks be. They dense. I'm in a 2-flat. I'm on a block of 2 flats. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of motherfuckers. But he intimidated me in that moment. I ain't opened the door, but I was scared of the motherfucker. I had called my parents and shit. I couldn't get in contact with my father. My mother. I couldn't get in contact with nobody. With nobody available. Everybody was busy than the motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, that was the longest 30 fucking minutes of my life. Because I'm sitting there protecting the house.
You holding the fort down.
I'm holding the fort down. And mind you, like, hey, look, this is a different time. I was keeping myself at a much earlier. I was babysitting myself at 9. It's me in the house, and I don't think I'm dissimilar than y'all. What age are y'all keeping yourselves?
Um, shit, 16. I mean,
What?
there was always somebody at my crib.
Oh, uh,
So yeah.
I guess I don't know. Yeah, I was 9. I was a latchkey kid. I had a key, and it wasn't finna be nobody here till about 6:30. That's just what it was.
No, there was always somebody at my crib. So
Nope, nope. My auntie was upstairs, but she would be at work. I wasn't her kid. She come and go as she please. If she was there. She was there. She wasn't. She wasn't.
Hey,
You got a key. It's yourself in your house.
hey, you know what phrase that I learned young that I rarely use because it starts fights.
Stranger danger.
No,
Oh.
like anytime a motherfucker's requesting something from you that you don't want to give them, just say you shout midget. Damn. And that pisses people off to the highest level of festivity. And I learned that shit about at 8. Like, cause I couldn't curse. So I needed something else that would rile a motherfucker up like a curse. And I seen a cluck say that to an old lady one day, and she hit him with the curly's three stooges. Ooh, I was like, she was that mad that she did that in real life. The Three Stooges, nigga.
Damn.
You shout, midget.
Damn. Damn. Hey, look, it what it is. But yeah, no, I said all that to say I can see how an individual can be accosted by someone, and especially in their situation, because my situation was in an urban setting, an urban environment, houses everywhere, people everywhere. If I ran out the house, 100 people gonna hear me. Now,
They in a
put your
rural life,
put
man.
yourself in Mrs. Mallory's position. She's in a rural. They had 1,000 acres. They own 1,000 acres. And I don't know if you could conceptualize 1,000 acres, but it's a lot.
it's a lie.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's 1,000. I have 0.5 acres right now.
Right, your average Chicago house is on a half acre. So 1,000 acres,
It's a lot of Chicago houses.
2,000 houses.
So you're away from a lot of motherfuckers.
Two
I
thousand
would,
houses away
I
from
could, I could, I can understand the situation in which a motherfucker is petrified at this individual that is coming knocking on their doors for the second time now. It's
when I
plausible
mean
that
if
you're gonna let off a warning shot, and you're not gonna be the person that's trying to harass a motherfucker, but
when
this
I mean
individual
this being what I feel is harassed too.
in that climate, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that I heard that came out after, because they had a hearing, they had a hearing yesterday. They went to court yesterday because they were arrested. If anybody didn't know, they were arrested for harassing and stalking and all other shit that they were doing to their neighbors, pointing cameras at their houses because they have been accosted. They have had cameras broken by people coming across their land. They have had their animals killed. They have had their land vandalized, homes vandalized. So they're worried. I will put cameras up too. They're using that. They're using their defense as fuel for the litigation against them, and that's nutty to me. But it's it's Colorado. It's rural Colorado.
Yeah.
If you think these things don't exist, they do. If you think that there are not a separate set of rules for you, there is. Because everybody else knows how to handle that situation. If anybody else, any other group of people were being accosted by a town, that town will be shut down. That sheriff
Mm-hmm.
will be replaced. There'd be another sheriff appointed. There'd be a whole nother city council in place, and it'd be over with. But to date, the local NAACP chapter, actually, I think the statewide chapter is involved now at this point, and all they're doing is saying, "Hey guys, listen. At a point, our organizations have to realize that they need multiple branches, multiple arms. There needs to be an armed militia set up to defend the Mallorys in the same way that cattle ranchers and the like came up to fuck if I can remember at this point
Oh, that weird ass town out there.
to stand up for what the fuck was his name with the cattle that Colvin
Yeah,
was that his name
sound about right.
that came up and had a standoff with the U.S. government,
Oh, you talking about
feds,
them motherfuckers with a whole town
some
came back.
Colvin, what the fuck, Cliven Bundy was
It
his?
was in
Yeah,
North
cut.
Dakota.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I just remember you.
It was Dakota. Cliven Bundy was his name, I believe.
Oh, you talking about them niggas in Texas?
It wasn't
nah, that
Texas.
was like
Oklahoma,
Wyoming and some shit.
Oklahoma, either Texas, right on the border of Texas. It was the
Yeah,
Texas Oklahoma border. I think that's what it
yeah.
was.
You talking about them white boys that they all showed up with guns
Yeah,
when they
and a
Stood
couple of
up.
them motherfuckers
yeah.
died.
Hey, when they
Nobody,
did
they
that
didn't
back
fire a
home.
shot. What are you talking about? You talking about the other standoff where they was firing? They was on the other. Hey, look, there have been so many instances of these motherfuckers standing up to the U.S. government when they have been completely in the wrong. The Cliven Bundy situation was this motherfucker letting his cattle graze on government land, and the government was like, "Get your shit off my shit." He was like, "No, this is my shit now." And then they had a standoff about it. I don't know what the results were. I know it wasn't a bullet fired, and I think he kept that shit because it got too quiet after the fact. If the U.S. if the U.S. government would have won that shit, I think they would have spiked the ball.
Definitely, definitely would have been at least one sparkler. They would have popped one bottle.
When they lose, shit get quiet in the motherfucker. You'll never hear about that shit no more. You'll never hear about that motherfucker going to jail. You'll never hear about that motherfucker having to pay no fines. It just you don't hear nothing about it. It's just over with. But it's over with because these motherfuckers form well armed militias as their constitution allows, and they stand up to tyranny,
That ain't right.
federal tyranny. Now,
They got the
can we
for
can we
that.
galvanize our NAACP to have a fucking backbone and to do the things that are actually needed to be done and institute a black militia group or the black NRA members? I forget what the motherfuckers is called, but there's a couple black gun groups around this motherfucker. They escaped me at this point. Forgive me for being damn near 3 hours in and drinking all night for not having all of the particulars of what I'm supposed to have. What is it? NFAC? If the comment said NFAC. But yeah,
Not fucking around coalition.
that part. The 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 about it motherfuckers of our contingency and the bougie motherfuckers that want to be on the legalese side of our contingency need to have a meeting of the minds. This shit will not work for our people unless you two get together because the NAACP can do all that NAACP-ish shit. The Mallorys is gonna be fucked by the time y'all end up getting any of this shit done. They're gonna be dead and gone or off they land and out of there. If you don't have a militia willing to stand up there with they same AR-15s, willing to guard their land and wait for motherfuckers to encroach, wait for a motherfucker to come and kill another motherfucking goat. How many goats that man say he lost?
Too many.
Put them out there. Engage with them. You uppity Negroes, you. Otherwise, you're going to lose, as you have been doing for the last civil rights 40 plus 20, that's 60 plus years, right? At this point. What was it? When the Civil Rights Act get passed? 60 what? 64?
Yeah, but I don't want to have the narrative that we don't do this shit. They just quell us quickly.
Hey, look, fam, that's the problem. Because they quell us quickly because we don't do the shit the right way. We never have we never have those co-equal branches of our engagement in lockstep.
We do, but
We don't. When do we? I don't never see
the
that
Black
shit.
Panthers did it and they killed them.
Okay, I mean, all right, okay,
Yeah.
cool. We had it then. All right, bet.
No, don't cut me off. I got more.
I'm talking about now. I'm
I
talking about
got
now.
more.
In the last 40 years.
Black Panthers was damn near in the last 40 years, but
It was
again,
not. I'm 40, and then Black Panthers ain't been around my whole life.
I said damn near. They got killed right before you was born, nigga. They damn near. So 42 years, motherfucker. Damn near. Then you got the Angels. We had them here, Guardian Angels. They got their asses whipped. Then we had Wesley Snipes tried to do the Royal Guard of Amin Ra. They sent his ass away to fucking.
Yeah, they light him up.
Yeah.
Right.
We
Hey,
tried.
look,
We
hey, look,
tried.
at a point, you're gonna realize what I'm saying.
I realize what you're saying, but you're not giving the fact that he's talking about actual militias with no religious.
No, right. Not even,
Yeah, we
no,
just strapped.
I'm talking about militias. I'm talking about us not realizing the fact that Malcolm and Martin were both right, and we needed both of them, and we needed both of them to be aligned a lot earlier than they had that meeting and was like, maybe you right. I don't know. Maybe we should start fucking with each other and doing this shit in concert with one another. Oops, you get shot. Oops, I get shot. Shit's over with. Motherfuckers figuring it out. But at a point, we got to realize, oh shit, they were on to the thing that we needed. We need to unify these two groups. The motherfuckers that got the book smarts and is up there in these political offices and having these agendas and shit like that need to realize why they got into this shit in the first place and stop ignoring they gangster cousins that's out here willing to shoot some motherfuckers that got the guns that's willing to actually impact that power and educate and mobilize them and empower them into the way where they can do that shit properly so they can be the actual muscle that is needed for the brains that are also needed.
I just told you. They said Wesley Snipes to jail in 2000, nigga.
He didn't have both of those contingents.
He definitely had both of those.
No, he didn't. You can't tell me the motherfucker was smart enough to not pay his taxes. Because that's how they got him the fuck up out of here.
Motherfuckers don't even
it was
know
too easy.
But that's what I'm saying. That's minutia. He was busy.
Did he say he didn't do that shit? Or did he say they fucking with me on some bullshit?
He said they fucking with me on some bullshit. It's still like
but hey, look, motherfucker ain't say I ain't do that shit though. There's a difference.
It's basically the same thing.
Hey, on some old bullshit, man, because I ain't giving that little fuck ass $20.
But
you know what, nigga? A motherfucker will argue up and down like your money they owe you or what the fuck they did to you ain't shit.
He had a 360 plan. It was about the mind, body, and spirit. It was about all of that.
Cool. He had it. All right, cool.
He had the black leader's ear.
He didn't.
Yes, he did.
I don't remember none of this shit with Wesley.
That's because they locked his ass up. Just do some regard to Amin Ra and what he was doing. He had bought more land than what Kanye West got.
You sitting here telling me that
yes.
Wesley Snipes
asking for it, they get something.
Wesley Snipes was the man.
Yes.
And they conspiracy Wesley Snipes to fuck up out of here.
Yes.
All right, so you can believe Bill Cosby was ready to buy NBC, but you can't believe that Wesley Snipes was about to lock the city down and bring everybody together.
I don't believe Bill Cosby's about to buy NBC. First of all, second of all, when are we as a people gonna understand that it's not necessary to buy NBC to get the shit that we need to get done? I
think he did it right. He got some land. He was training men.
Hey, look. He did not do it right. He got some land and didn't pay no taxes on none of that shit. I don't know what the fuck. I don't sound like the white man. I sound like the motherfucker that needs the smart people to actually do the shit that we supposed to do. If you don't do the bullshit, they can't fuck you up. He did the bullshit. No, he said he didn't, but he did.
Exactly. And you going with the white man.
I'm not going with the white man. I'm going with the dumbass motherfucker that did the dumbass shit that he did. Motherfucker, no. I know
what you're saying.
Nigga, no.
They said he did.
Hey, look.
You saying he did.
I'm saying he didn't.
I'm saying he didn't fuck up.
I'm saying he did.
He's saying he didn't fuck up.
I'm saying he did.
He's saying he did fuck up. They locked him up.
No, the motherfucker said I don't have to pay my taxes because reasons.
I've never heard him say that.
He did. That was his defense in the trial. That's when they were sending his ass to jail. His defense. I have to pay taxes because reasons.
That ain't what I heard. I heard he had a motherfucking the same story everybody got. I had a guy for that, and he fucked me. I didn't hear that I didn't have to pay taxes.
He said I had to pay taxes because of reasons.
I didn't hear that.
All right.
At all. I heard the same story that everybody tells.
Listen again. Listen again. That's that motherfucker's defense. I ain't had to pay. Motherfucker told me I had to pay taxes motherfucker said I ain't gonna pay taxes if I say I don't authorize Facebook the authority to use my likeness and image. Like, no, motherfucker, that's not how that works. But okay, cool. You can't declare your way out of bankruptcy.
I declare bankruptcy.
But that's the type of shit we be doing. And thinking it's the shit we should be doing. Because we got the motherfuckers that should be doing security running point. And they shouldn't be running point. They should be doing security. The motherfuckers who supposed to be running point, sometimes they run point, sometimes they point shave. We need motherfuckers to actually be on point and run the point. Stop point shaving. And it's got to be on us to be smart enough to call these motherfuckers out, to recognize the people that's with us and for us and those that ain't. I'm looking at you, Jim Clyburn. I don't know if I said this on the show already. We do, in my family, we do a Black History. We do a call every day in Black History Month to spout a Black History fact, talk about a historical figure, to espouse some economic principle or something that we as people may not be aware of or totally cognizant of as we should be. All that shit, right? Health issues, that's what we've been doing for the last 15 days. And we've been doing it for the last 3 years. So I did mine on I did one on James Meredith the other day. Civil rights activist James Meredith. Influential. Did the March Against Fear, right? All this shit. Got shot by some white people. Subjugated against white people. Motherfuckers fought against him enrolling in the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, right? Do you know that later in this motherfucker's life, he championed the motherfucker, he campaigned for and backed the individual that was responsible for him not being admitted to Ole Miss? Not a motherfucker who he didn't know was a bureaucrat. The motherfucker who was outwardly against him and shouting him down at the point.
Hey.
Maybe Jerry Jones.
Nah. This motherfucker worked to get David Duke elected governor.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Like you can't be questionable about. There's no questionable about David Duke.
But I said all that to say, look, back in the day, that motherfucker was all about it, but something happened round about the 80s. This nigga's different.
That was actually one of our topics. Y'all president eulogized the KKK member.
He did. That was his buddy. But look, y'all said vote for this
Barack
motherfucker.
Did too, so Barack was there and eulogized him as well. So he Jerry Jones it.
I ain't know Barack eulogized that man. I thought that man died well before Barack was even on the scene. Nope. It wasn't Strom Thurmond. It was the other motherfucker. What was the other motherfucker name?
I'm looking.
I can't remember his name. Can't remember his name, but it was old staunch racist motherfucker in Congress. It might have been Strom Thurmond.
Yeah, I think
Strom Thurmond was a governor. This motherfucker was a congressman that he had eulogized. That was KKK in it up. But no, I really think that is the way that we need to operate. But we need to find the operators, and we need to actually come together as a people to say, you're not wrong. I should stop gatekeeping. I need to keep motherfuckers like James Meredith off of the forefront from making decisions about us as people nowadays, because although he did what he did, we can never take that away. He ain't who he was. And we got to recognize that shit. I'm looking at you, Jim Clyburn. Seems like ever since John Lewis died, You lost a little bit of that spine in your back. That's supposed to be there. A little bit of that steel that's supposed to hold you upright. I'm just saying.
Nigga back ain't backing right.
Back ain't backing right. Well, he backing the wrong motherfuckers too fervently. He's responsible for Joe Biden being president of the United States right now, and not Bernie Sanders. Just want to put that out there. He's responsible for Joe Biden being president and not Bernie Sanders. He didn't make a calculus between a Joe Biden and a Donald Trump. That's not when he threw his weight into the ring. That's not when he made his decision. He made it full well knowing who a Joe Biden was, full well knowing who his other options were, and made his choice. Bernie ain't on record being a staunch racist, is he?
Nah.
Bernie ain't on record being friends with a bunch of staunch racists, is he?
No.
All right, cool. So Jim, I don't understand your selection. Makes no sense. He was polling to beat Trump by a wider margin than Biden was polled to beat Trump.
Was he?
Yeah, much wider. So, what are we doing here, Jim? What are we doing here, Maxine? Yeah, I'm looking at you too.
Yeah, you trying to talk bad about Miss Waters?
Yeah, I'm talking bad about Miss Waters. I don't give a fuck.
Claiming my time.
She not my auntie. My aunties is my mama's sisters and my father's brother's wives. They're my only aunties.
See, my aunties are my mama's sisters and Anita Baker.
Got to be Patti LaBelle too.
Hey, look, no,
Patti LaBelle's more great auntie age.
Hey, look, I don't know. I would fuck Patti LaBelle. I don't see her as an auntie.
Now I can't say I want Whoopi Goldberg. You fucking shit out of Patti LaBelle.
This nigga just said he would nail Patti LaBelle to the cross.
Robert Byrd, that's the racist there. Yeah, the KKK member.
That's not the same one that Biden eulogized, though. It was a different one.
No, that was the same one.
It's the same one? You sure?
Yeah. They all eulogized this nigga.
I thought it was a different motherfucker, but okay. Hey, look.
He was the one that was actually in the KKK. Robert Byrd. He was a senator that was actually in the KKK in his youth. And all of them motherfuckers, when he passed, they eulogized his ass.
Hey, look, don't give him that in his youth. When he was a congressman, he was not. He was also not great as a congressman.
Jerry Jones did. I mean, I used to be in the KKK.
But now I'm just, hey.
Hey, black people.
hey, Negroes.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, that's what we come to. That's where we're at. That's why we'll have individuals like the Mallorys that want to strive to beat after being displaced from a fucking hurricane. I don't know which one.
The American dream.
Yeah.
It's striving. This man pulled himself up by his bootstraps, went to college, got a degree in farming, opened a farm. I don't know how the fuck you did that shit. Got 1,000 acres. I don't know how the fuck you did that shit. Commendable. Hand claps all the fucking way around. And he got to succumb to this shit because we as a people can't get our power base together to be able to defend this motherfucker because we too uppity to let the motherfuckers with the guns come through.
Uppity shade tree niggas.
We too fucking militant to have a conversation with the motherfuckers that got the information about how to get you permits to do the shit you need to do.
Yeah, because all you got to do is get an LLC.
Let the motherfuckers teach you the game. Teach these motherfuckers the game and work together. Stop thinking that you enemies when you're not. You're on the same side. If one of you loses, the other one is just all that much weaker.
Yeah, Tariq, teach me the game, Ghost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That was my call to action on the Mallorys, though. That was my thing about them and what they need to do to get their shit.
I definitely agree. Like, as black people, we be separatists to the motherfucker at times. Like, we want unity but not from all of us. Like our unity don't need everybody. And I think we need to stop that shit because we can't afford to not have everybody.
You're gonna get there and it's gonna be the 6 of y'all. And guess what?
So what about
it'll be the 0 of you all?
Have y'all ever heard that it's a school of thought that is from a vestige from slavery?
What? A vestige from slavery? What?
That we started to embody an ethic that had a purpose at one time. We used to denigrate each other to get us not to be sold. After a time when the selling stopped, the jonesing, the dozens, because that's where the dozens came from. We were sold by the dozen. So at a time, the ethic of the jonesing stopped, but the jonesing didn't.
It lost its purpose.
It lost its purpose, but it stayed. That's why they say it can't. The division ultimately come from.
Hey, look, it's cool. Purpose. It's cool. It's cool. At a point, we gotta stop using that vestige, the vestiges. At a point, we have to stop using the vestiges of slavery as a crutch.
Yeah.
We know it. We know it was fucked up. We know it was done to our people. We got to wake up and say we're gonna stop doing it to ourselves. If we don't, nobody else is gonna stop doing it to us. We just keep asking for everybody else to stop. They're never gonna stop by us asking. We got to physically remove their foot from our neck, and you can't do that if you're not strong enough to get up. You'll never be strong enough to get up.
Somebody insert a Tupac clip.
Somebody insert a Tupac clip.
First, they're gonna start out singing, "We want some food." Then they're gonna start beating on the door. Next thing you know, they're gonna
give us some food, let us in. We want some food, let us in. Next thing you know, change. I'm picking a lock, coming in the door with the 4-4. Yeah.
He was above his time, before his time.
Before his time.
Whenever
his time get here, because we're still even up. Shit.
Before our time too, we still fighting the same fight.
Hey, look, we got to get off of that shit too, because we're never gonna get to our time. Our time is now. We got to understand that this shit is imperative that we do it. We need to teach our children. Hey, look, this shit sound like a motherfucking. We need to change the way we eat. We need to change the way we live. And most of all, we need to start changing the way we treat ourselves.
Sounds like.
Did I see no changes? That was the chorus to changes.
I don't see no changes. All I see is racist flakes.
No, we need to change the way we sleep, change the way we live, and change the way we treat each other.
That actually was.
And some to will to survive. Instead, I see no changes. All I see is racist faces. Hate makes us racial racist. I wonder.
Things will never be the same. That's just the way.
Hey.
Oh,
I fully live by that. I fully live by that Pac quote. Might not change the world, but I sparked the mind that would change the world. I think he sparked my mind. I don't know if I changed the world, but I like to think of that. My mind got sparked. I don't know if I'm gonna be the one that's gonna change this motherfucker because he ain't here no more.
Oh, is he gonna be the grandfather of the spark?
Oh, am I gonna just continue to? Am I carrying the ember, and hopefully I can just echo the statements of that man so somebody else can catch that spark?